I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning, everyone.
Good morning. We got to know I brought a banana and a lemon bar. No crunching on.
Thank you. You're up, ma'am.
Oh no, we gotta approve our minutes.
That's what I mean. You're up. You're supposed to read.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners approves the October 24th, 2023 emergency meeting minutes and October 26th, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes. Morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
You are first up.
First up, going into standard annual contracts, IEBT will be coming up. That is our drug and alcohol testing company. That is our annual, so I wanted to let you know that resolution will be coming through. I don't anticipate any changes, but you should see that before the end of the year for next year.
Okay.
They are 2 miles down the road from our
Oh, cool.
location.
Convenient.
And I looked at it. It's
Aw,
cheap.
good.
Yeah, and they're
Very
Expensive.
nice.
and very nice.
It's inexpensive.
Inexpensive.
Yes, and very good to us. A truck rental, I don't actually know that I need to pass that, but I wanted to bring it up in case we need to rent trucks. I believe the resolution we passed last year covers us always, but I wanted to double check with you before
I think we have to renew it every year. That gives Dawn the authority if she has an emergency.
I actually brought it just so
Yeah.
we could look at it and then decide if I needed to renew it or not. But it is an annual thing that we were doing, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll do that again or not. My third one is Greenboard IT. That is our third-party company who handles our electronics. There is no changes coming up for next year.
Oh, good.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah, I know that.
No cost increase?
No cost
or-
increase.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wonderful. Our HHW, that kind of goes with our update, our quarterly update, but we held our first household hazardous waste event. We will enter into hopefully a contract with them starting 2024, not to exceed 75,000, which is our limit. We reached out to like 5, 6, 7 companies to try to get them to come in and be a third-party vendor like Greenboard. There's only one response, and this Clean Earth is the company to do that. I've already talked to Chris Midori about it, and we've gone through an agreement, and he's very helpful. This company is very helpful, and the response for the HHW is overwhelming.
There is no ending date, so I don't
Okay,
think it
so
needs
we're
to be
good.
renewed.
Awesome.
We used to renew it every year
Yes,
for some
and I
reason.
think we addressed it so we don't have to do it
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. Okay.
So, helpful. Okay, great. So there's that one. And then drop-off agreements. So our old drop-off agreements were very sporadically placed. Some ended 1 year, some ended another year. They weren't standardized like our curbside agreements are. So they all currently are going to end this year now. And I'd like to send out new agreements. I'd like them to be for 4 years. I would like them to be for $500 a container a year. They were for $600. I'd
Mhm.
like to drop them $100 a container. A few reasons for that. We are there a lot less. The sites were maintained a lot better. They're a lot cleaner. They don't look like a dump any longer. They
Mhm.
look like they are a recycling center. The townships are doing a fantastic job maintaining those sites. And I feel like it's a really good partnership these days. And
Okay.
budget can handle that.
What's the true cost for us to do those?
I did run those numbers. So we are there three days a week. It is not an 8-hour shift, any of those 3 days, so with the driver's salary. I can't tell you that number off the top of my head, but it is
What's
still
the
not.
cost for us to pick it up and dump it? Is there any cost there? Because I remember at
There
one
is.
time we had them at so low, and then we finally were getting them up. We went to 5 and we went to 6. So I'm just curious why we're dropping them if not sustaining instead of increasing them, just keeping them at
Sure.
the same level.
So to me, the difference is our job to provide the access, not our job to provide the curbside. So it's our job to provide the access for the drop-offs,
Mhm.
and that's the difference. So it's a give and take for the drop-offs, and we need to be providing that service. They don't have to be helping us cleaning up the areas, and they're giving a lot more.
Well, you also mentioned that the township is stepped up and they're being much more partner friendly.
Who they are.
So you have to do much less work to keep them clean, and so there's less labor from the district side.
There is.
So what is
earlier,
the
right?
actual cost for one of those pickup sites? I know they have different amounts of containers, whatever, but I just wanna make sure that we are covering the true cost to provide that service before we drop it, that's all.
I understand that. I can't tell you that off the top of my head.
You can always get back to us, though.
I can get back to you.
Yeah.
So when we talked earlier, you had mentioned to me that you don't have the exact number right now, but it was, you were able to cover the expense, right? She wasn't making money, but she was able to cover that expense, but you could give that number back to, Commissioner Bennett, just so she's aware, but you're definitely not losing money, but you weren't making a whole lot of money.
No, I'm not losing money.
So I can understand this, so you cleaned up the drop-off sites, and they look awesome, and everybody's thrilled the way they look. Your guys used to have to go over and clean up and maintain the drop-off site. Once we changed that and we upgraded it and it looks very nice, the township said, hey, we'll take care of it and we'll clean up, and so we're not going for man hours for spending 3, 4, 5 hours there to clean up, and now it's just the expense of picking up and dropping off.
It is that expense. I also have townships that will help out with illegal dumping. They will call the sheriff's department. They will report for the district. It could be a district's job, it could be a township's job, but they help out tremendously. Like they take on, they want to be a partner in what we do now. Like,
So our
it is
expenses
huge.
have actually dropped
It
over the
is,
last year
and
and a
then our
half or two.
contamination levels have dropped. We used to pay contamination rates over and above, and now that has dropped below.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, you know what, the only thing I can say to this, though, I know a lot of the townships that have drop-offs, they were complaining because their staff was involved in cleanup, and then they were paying to get cameras and all kinds of stuff to help monitor. So it wasn't just our staff going there, because I remember that we were getting a lot of pushback from
It's
the
a lot different
townships
now.
because, okay.
I mean, since it's been cleaned up and since I've taken over, it's a lot different now.
Yeah, I would just like to see the true actual cost for one
Sure.
of those before, I give you the go-ahead to drop it. And if it's within reason, then that's fine. I just know from years past, we way undercharged for those. We were supplementing them
Straight
from
across the board,
drop-off.
everything.
Yeah, and so.
We changed that.
I just wanna make sure that that's where we're at with it, so.
Cool.
All right.
Quarterly updates, ma'am.
Sure. So the charm has opened.
Yes.
We ran 16 days. Of those 16 days, we've collected almost 500 tires.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really something.
So if somebody wanted from the town or the county, said, hey, I'd like to buy some of those tires because I want to use a shooting range and fill them up with sand.
No way.
No? Okay.
No way.
Okay.
I mean, I have no idea if they've been punctured or if they've been. No, thank you. I don't need that liability. No, thank you. We don't need that liability. No, thank you. We've taken, I think, 28 refrigerators and freezers
Wow.
to remove the Freon. It's a big service
Wow.
that we now offer the county, so it's kind of nice. We've shipped out a truckload of plastic bags that have been baled, so it's like, I think it was 16,000 pounds of plastic bags.
Wow.
That's a lot of plastic bags.
That's a lot of plastic bags.
Yeah. Along with the charm that's opened, we also just launched our new user-friendly website.
I was trying to use that last night.
You were?
Mhm.
Wasn't so user-friendly for you?
You know, I'm deficient in certain areas.
Now, that's not a fair question.
It
Could be
just-
some
just say
challenges
it.
on the user end.
Right.
I have questions this morning.
Oh.
Later.
Okay. All right, great. And that Hannah developed that website and launched that website by herself. And I have to say,
Awesome.
our IT department, our newly developed IT department here at the county did help.
Awesome.
And
This is very nice.
They are awesome lately. Like their
Very
IT
good.
department is really good lately. What else? Oh, our flag collection. We've collected dozens and dozens of U.S. flags.
Yeah.
It's really,
That's such a good service to have.
it's really nice.
Who are you giving them to afterwards?
We have ceremonies. One of our drivers is a
Oh,
Boy
really?
Scout leader, and he has ceremonies.
Okay. No,
Got
nice.
really neat pictures I can share.
Do you advertise when you're going to have a ceremony?
I don't.
Okay.
No, he takes them and has the ceremonies and.
Okay.
He
With
about
this
takes them off
Boy
site
Scout
and
troop or
does
something?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. Very cool.
What else? Oh, Christmas trees. We'll collect those this year for.
What? Christmas tree?
Bonfire.
No, my gosh.
They burn awesome. don't they?
Ah.
So how did Christmas trees come about? Is that just a need?
They didn't
that
want me to have a
people-
bonfire?
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows what to do with a Christmas tree. They're difficult to go
Yeah.
in a garbage truck. And when you're in a development or something, what do you do with a Christmas tree? So we will take Christmas trees now. You bring them to us at the drop off.
And
They'll
then
go
what
into our
happens to
yard
them?
waste and they'll go to Broomfield Aggregate. They'll be recycled into mulch.
Oh, perfect.
And we are taking pumpkins right now in cords, and those will go into food compost.
Yeah, but that is such a good service.
All new stuff,
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Good job.
and I'm done.
So pumpkins, Christmas trees.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
All done.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right. Dawn,
Thank
have
you,
a great
ma'am.
day. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Don.
Rob, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hi.
Especially what you're going to tell me.
Oh, yeah. This is the hot seat.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's see, good news. The judgment entry and order was signed and it's been delivered to us. So all of that will be conveyed to the Board of Commissioners. It's now just a matter of going through the paperwork to get that taken care of. So we are in the airport business,
All right.
so that's the good thing. Today I want to talk about, we are looking at the FBO, fixed base operation. So we had a meeting of the minds with Mr. Bonner, came to terms on dollar figures, and we are looking at purchasing the main building, 13 unit T-hangers, and then the fuel inventory. So, if you have any questions, there is a resolution that comes up later on.
Okay, so talk about the fuel inventory. What do we do with that?
We will be selling the fuel. We'll be the retailer for the fuel inventory at the airport.
Yeah, but we'll have to purchase it, and he'll have a system of how much he paid for it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be, we will stick the tank, that will basically take the inventory. Is a big wooden stick that goes
Mhm.
down, it's calibrated for the
See.
tanks.
Mhm.
We'll stick the tanks the day of closing, figure out what the price is, and then that'll be one of the last figures that goes into the closing.
And
So
that's with the price that we have set, that's part of that already?
that is part of the
Okay.
agreement, and it'll be his rack rate, whatever he paid for that inventory,
Yeah.
so that'll be
That's what I was getting
wholesale.
at.
It'll be a
Mhm.
wholesale price.
All right, very good. Excellent.
Okay, that's it.
Any other
That's-
questions?
But what did, so.
It's pretty cut and dry at this point.
Yeah, so because it's a public meeting, tell me a little bit about you, the comment you made when you started. We're now in the airport business.
Okay.
Tell us what that means.
Okay, so we, as the Board of Commissioners, you now own the airport. All-
Effective.
Effective January 1st, 2024, according to that order. The Airport Authority will dissolve. This purchase of the fixed base operation will then put us into, as the FAA sponsor of the airport, will be providing the services at the airport. So we'll essentially be the retailer for aviation fuel, hangar space. We'll actually have total control of the airport as the sponsor and operator of
And
the
the
airport.
FBO and the leases and
Leases,
everything
all of that
come to
comes,
us.
all comes to us, so there's no retail margin in there, we'll actually be able to achieve the goals of the airport, because there's not a business that's trying to make a profit in spite of all of the other entities out there at the airport. So we'll be able to coalesce everything in, actually be able to meet our mission there at the airport, which is economic development, and then really achieve the goals that were outlined from the AMCG consultants that reported in May.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be good.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Appreciate your due diligence on
This somebody that knows how to speak FAA is actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Well,
It's beneficial.
I can also share with you that we have a commitment from the FAA for us to compete for grants in 2024. So we are in competition with 92 other public use airports in the state of Ohio. So we had, with the Port Authority or Airport Authority, we were set up basically to do the design work for a runway, or I'm sorry, a taxiway reconstruction and relocation. What we now have from the FAA's Airport District Office is a commitment to allow us to do the construction this year, as long as we're competitive, meaning we actually turn in a good application with design, everything that checks the box for the FAA to say easy yes for us to get the money. That'll be a 90-10 grant. I'll also be looking to apply to the state for a 5% match there, so it'll be 5% for us. So at this point, we have the SMART goal or SMART transportation grant that I brought last month.
Yeah.
So that's $2 million that we're in competition for. This will be 1.5, and then they also are entertaining through the bipartisan infrastructure law and the airport infrastructure grant program our ability to actually build another bank of T-hangars. So that's a little more competitive. We need to actually do some more homework. We need to do some more homework.
I like that one.
So Rob, speaking of the FAA, so they have now approved us to be the lead sponsor on
Working on that. We're still working
Okay.
through those boxes, those checklists with the region office in Chicago. It's a matter of just time working through the FAA system, but there's nothing holding us back. The FAA agrees that we were a co-sponsor already, so had a good meeting with them last month to actually expedite the
It actually
checklist.
sweetens the pot that we would become the sponsor.
Exactly.
Yeah, the lead.
Very good. Anything else?
All right.
I took up way too much of your time.
No, you did not. No, you did not. Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate
I
it.
was
Thank
getting
you.
ready to hit the gong, but okay.
No, you got actually got about another 7 minutes if you like.
Can you sing or dance or?
They're just
Be,
messing
be
with
gone
me.
with you, Rob.
Rob, you're
Thank you, sir.
good.
And I hear internal services is our county administrator.
Yes,
You're up.
Shannon is attending the
Leadership.
Portage County Leadership today. So
Yeah, human
here
services.
you are, ma'am.
Morning, Barb.
Hey Barb, I heard it didn't work out. They tried to pull
It
a
didn't
fast.
work out for the car, but I got to meet Bruce more closely. More than just
You lucky woman, you.
No, seriously, it's more.
Seriously, I'm serious too.
Very.
Never mind. Michelle.
Okay. So, admin building. Seemingly pulled up the floor tiles as much as possible and cannot find the water source. We would like this project to be part of the renovation. This is with the building department. We would like this project to be part of the renovation of the 7th and 5th floor if the BOC approves. We would like the counter and the ADA compliance counter to be part of the renovation of the 5th and 7th floor if the BOC approves. So remember they were wanting to do some renovations of the first floor and at the building department.
Yeah.
So they're running into some issues, and so previously the board had decided we needed some renovations on the 7th floor and the 5th floor.
Can they not get the permits approved for that? I'm just kidding. The building department? Never mind. I'm off the board.
No. So the answer is no on that. So they would like to combine all of that because it really just saves the fees and when it comes to the architects and overall general just contract fees as well. So we would like to put all the projects into one.
Well, that makes sense. What are we doing on the 5th floor when you say combine with?
So the new auditor would like to get some renovations done to his floor, and so again, it does save on fees just to combine it all into one project. The 7th floor needs some renovations, the 5th floor needs some renovations, and now so does the 1st floor.
You said something about tiles and I can't find the lake. Is that outside or?
No, I went over and looked.
Over what?
Over to the building department.
Okay.
And I looked at it, and that used to be the laboratory for the hospital.
Oh.
And they have catch basins in the floor that are causing the issue. And what needs to be done is about a 5-foot by 5-foot section needs to be torn out under the tile
Oh.
and cap those off, because when it's raining,
It's just.
they're backing up, and then they're backing up top, so they're having it leaking in Joe's office on top of his computer and coming in from the floor. They're stainless steel,
This just started happening?
just started leaking, yes. They think what has happened is that where the stainless steel catch basins were to filter chemicals going into the sewer, that they're starting to fail at the hinge, and that's what it appeared to me. They found Sonny found the actual blueprints of that building, and that's how we kind of determined that that's what was happening.
Wow.
So it's I want to say it's an easy fix, but
The
who
hole
knows?
has to be in their office, that 5x5?
Yes, it's right inside the hallway when you first enter the door.
Wow.
So-
Cool.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
So would the BOC be in agreement to combine all of that
Yes.
into one?
Yes, especially if it saves money. I'm all about that.
That's it. Okay. Maintenance, garage repairs. You've seen, they have been doing a lot of work on that building over there. Let's see here. Start of the week of the 23rd, the windows, loading doors, and man doors will be complete by, there you have it, November 2nd.
It's looking good.
It is. They are doing a great job.
Okay.
So there's that. Annex building.
Yes.
Contract is being prepared. We had talked about some of the updates previously, and now they're still working on that contract. Okay, that's our only update there. Moving on along to the juvenile court. The renovation of the juvenile court. So it's quite a lengthy one here. Lunchroom renovation has some unforeseen issues in the walls. It appears that the original support beam was cut halfway in the walls.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. There were no original blueprints for this area. No original courthouse blueprints, by the way. So this was an unforeseen issue. The HVAC duct work in the courtroom needs to be rerouted after the ceilings come down. The cost to make the lunchroom safe for the remodel HVAC duct work and the cost for the reconfiguration of the courtroom is not to exceed $50,000. The cost for the revisions made by the architect and for the general contractor, I'm guessing. Well, please.
I'm in the wrong field.
Contractor, there you go. Just to reiterate, there were no original drawings for the original courthouse. Shannon working with the Budget and Finance Department to find the funds pending the BOC approval. So point being, we really have no choice other than to go ahead and find this $50,000 because we're in the middle of this remodel and
So you're, when you say no blueprints, you're talking about the juvenile courthouse?
That's
There
right.
there are no blueprints?
they didn't,
Did we check with Joga?
well, so the answer is no. But
Because we own
we
that.
own the building.
We own the
so
building.
I highly doubt that they would have them. So, there are no original courthouse blueprints, and so if you are kind of going in the blind, right, then you don't know what's behind those walls, so it was, an
This is
unforeseen
bizarre.
situation. Yes.
Okay.
So, not to exceed 50,000, they are working with our budget and finance director to, attempt to find this money and see what we can do there, but here's the thing. We really have, the board really is in a hard spot here. We have to approve this because otherwise it
Yeah.
messes up the whole project,
Well,
right?
And that's why, it's a good thing that we have discovered how much we do have to still work with the ARPA funds, because that's why I caution, whenever you do these projects, there's all these unforeseen things that pop up.
sure.
It's 50,000 here, it
Well, there
adds
should have
up.
been enough wrote into that in the event something did happen like this.
Well, there was contingencies, but I don't know, some of them came in less, so maybe, but we'll have to see. But at least the good news is, if it's not covered, we do have the funding for it.
Less isn't always best. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Moving on along. Probate court renovations. Project is 90% complete. Furniture to be installed the week of November 6th. The safety shutters for the counter windows to be installed the week of November 6th as well. They are also going through their punch list currently, so they're doing their final check to make sure that everything that they requested is taken care of. So basically, again, the project is 90% complete. I think that project worked quite well. The judge is extremely happy, is my understanding.
Cool.
Okay. That's that. Now, Judge Gilletto. The judge would like to utilize the vending room for her office space. Vending machines would be moved to the first floor. The cost is approximately $12,500, including the permit, drawings for the new door access, painting, and carpeting. This $12,500 would come from the maintenance budget, so we would not have to find any more
New
funding for that.
funds.
Also, Judge Gilletto has talked with the other judges as well as the clerk, and everyone seemingly is on board.
Cool.
So, but we'll be notifying all of them though when we plan to start work, so that we know
Yes.
everyone is on the same
Yes,
page
and so
aware.
that they're aware that, hey, here's what's happening in the building, dot, dot, dot.
Yeah, because they talked about moving the vending machines out until the hallway or something.
They're gonna be moved to the first floor.
Yeah, okay.
But as a professional courtesy,
Yeah,
like
we
with the
should.
others, they would let them know that here's the start date,
Yeah,
da, da, da.
good.
Okay. Red block. HVAC replacement. All units inside building have been installed. Outside units will be complete by the week of November 6th, weather permitting.
And I see them tearing off the roof. They got that big funnel down. They're throwing stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You see that, Barb?
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, but I've seen how it goes.
Good.
There you go.
All right.
Shannon's group has been quite busy, I must say.
I have one question, the Justice Center. I remember us talking about the fencing in the parking lot around the cruisers. I didn't know we put it on the agenda on to do yet. That was,
Well, that was put on hold. I
Or
thought.
please.
yeah,
Yeah,
At
I'm
least
trying to
we
get
didn't-
funding for that.
yeah, I was just surprised to see it. I
Yeah.
for
So-
some reason don't recall seeing it on this list.
Where's it at?
It is paid the last third to the bottom.
So it would be under the justice, well, so here's what happens with this list. A request is made, and so it's talked about in open session. It was not approved, so therefore it did not move forward, but it's still on here, right? Because it's a
I
request.
don't recall ever seeing it. I guess.
Oh, yeah, it was talked
okay.
about.
I know it was
Project
talked
put-
about,
Yeah, it says here, project put on
Right.
hold. Yeah.
but, yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
it's-
I
Did
just
you-
didn't see it.
Oh, I've seen that. I just.
Is that okay?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
if you want- okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Cool, thank you, Shannon.
All right. The Board of Commissioners authorizes the Portage County Engineer to apply for a Federal Surface Transportation Block Grant, STBG, program by the Akron Metropolitan Transportation Study, AMATS, to resurface Chamberlain Road, County Highway 265 from Mennonite Road, County Highway 256 to State Route 82, sections A through B, and Mennonite County Highway 256 from Aurora city limits to Manaway Village limits, section C through F, in Manaway Township, Portage County, Ohio.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners approves the public announcement of available contract for professional design services for the project known as Judson Road Bridge Rehabilitation, FRA 247, T143A.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners enters into a purchase and sales agreement by and between the Portage County Board of Commissioners and FBO Hangars LLC and Kelly Aviation, Halos LLC regarding the airport buildings and other structures as described in this resolution.
Second.
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Abstain?
Mike?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Are you doing budget and finance too?
I am. Seemingly they are all straightforward. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to review that resolution with them.
So the resolutions that, the number 2 and number 3 for the NRA grant, so the number 2 is to purchase all the lumber. How's lumber gonna be put up?
So my understanding is that it would be put up by the sheriff's department.
Okay?
So, yeah, this is basically a grant to purchase the materials, and they will be putting it up themselves. That is my understanding. I can absolutely get confirmation on that, but that's what I know. In other words, this will not cost us any more than this money.
Okay. And then the third one was the award for the drug, what's that called? The grant for the,
Byron,
the,
Recovery Ohio, Criminal Justice
Correct.
Ohio Office.
so how are we keeping track of the grants? Because I know in the past that we've had difficulty keeping track of grants and how they were spent, or that we knew they were spent. Is there anything changed that we're gonna be able to keep track of this one?
So we have created a spreadsheet,
Mm-hmm.
and we also created a new procedure that we will send out to each department that involves a worksheet that when they are applying for a grant or accepting a grant, they would complete this worksheet. So that's right out of the gate, the new process procedure when it initially starts. But in addition to that, they will tell us what fund will follow each grant, and then we will be monitoring that fund.
Yeah.
Alicia has access now to each fund where she can start monitoring that. So that-
Monitor it, and no matter which department they go to?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's there?
That's right.
So does the department have to put information in so we can monitor information out? So I have a grant, and I have this nice worksheet that we've done. There's been a couple elected officials that haven't followed through with keeping us updated. Is there any recourse? Do we shut it down? Do we stop it if they're not putting the information that we need in to fulfill our worksheet that we are gonna give them?
So we have limited authority once money is put wherever it's put.
Yep.
So what we can do is we could try and strengthen our relationships with elected officials, but as a measure to reach out and extend a hand, a partnership, we are trying to monitor those funds. And if we see something that maybe doesn't look quite right, we will extend a partnership and explain to them that doesn't look quite right. And maybe there's something we can do to work together so that we can understand maybe just a little bit better as to exactly what's going on with that grant.
Well, I understand, and I kind of agree with Tony that charts, they're only as good as the information put in.
Or the people that use them.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's,
I have a significant problem, we all know we're talking about, that not wanting to, I think the term is play nice in the sandbox.
Well, I get it, and I do understand it, but this is definitely a step in the right direction, right?
Sure.
Per Ohio Revised Code, we are limited on what we can do, but again, this is definitely a step in the right direction where we have created this Excel spreadsheet where we know which funds, we do need a resolution in order to accept a grant, right?
Correct,
And now we will
and
know
I
which
get that,
fund
that's
is
why I'm
which, but we are
questioning
at least
today.
now creating the spreadsheet so that we know which funds to monitor and we now have Alicia that has access to these funds to be able to assist in monitoring them. So this is at least a step in the right direction.
Alicia's got access too, so I give money to a department, and if I can't, how do I see into their system if their system is so complicated or not filled out that I can't see it? We can't see it now, and so we're gonna fill out this worksheet, and she's gonna have access to, what is she gonna have access to? My records as an elected official, that I can look into how you're doing it. I understand that it's a nicety to put a paper together to fill out, but if that,
It's only as good as if
as
you
Mike said,
utilize it.
the
yeah.
elected official chooses not to fill that out, and the money is for a grant is you hire me and Tony gets paid by that grant, and I choose not to put Tony into that grant, how do I know what's going on? Because
Well, so if any elected official or department chooses not to utilize the grant in which they
Are authorized or required
were
to.
But they
awarded,
applied
Yes.
for it,
Yeah.
then that's a problem.
Agreed, so
All
that's,
right,
I'm
so-
trying to get to that point, I understand all those things.
Trying to be as
The-
politically correct as I
I,
possibly can.
and so am I. So we know that it's happening, that I can't track the grant at this time.
So we
that
are
is my
putting in
concern.
parameters in which we can try and track a little bit better, and then we will reach out and partner with them.
And a lot of times,
And explain to them
Michelle,
that
we
they
have a
can-
checks and balance. A lot of times, the auditor office sort of monitors that, and if nothing else, when we get audited every year, there would be the finding, but it would state which elected official's office that did not comply, even though it shows on our audit. It would be a finding, and they state who did not do it, because we've had that in the past with that specific office.
So we've had an increase in grant
Yeah.
awards.
Oh,
And
absolutely,
other
and which I
Yeah.
think is fantastic, and we're getting grants. My problem
But
is
we're-
tracking grants
Yeah.
and saying that Tony was hired under grant A, so everybody looks at it and says how much Tony was paid every 2 weeks from that grant and how much money is left over in that grant.
Right.
That's all,
So
and I get what you're saying, and
past
I will
practice,
stop
we
my
did nothing,
questions. Yep.
and so now we are implementing measures in which we can partner
Yep.
with elected officials. And what I can tell you is, we are happy to give weekly or bi-weekly. Payroll's bi-weekly,
Mm-hmm.
so we are happy to give bi-weekly reports if this board would like that.
I would just like to be able to know where the money is and who is being paid by number X grant.
Yeah, because it gets a little convoluted because the grants, especially if we've got grant to add additional employees, that grant money is specific to that position. So say we hire Tony and 6 months later he goes off and finds a job somewhere else. We have to make sure we backfill that specific position because that we can't take that, keep getting that funding and then use it somewhere else. That has to go to that position. And I know that's been a problem in the past, but like you said, hopefully we've got some new monitoring in place and we'll see how it works. We'll try to
Thank you,
tweak
Michelle.
it if not.
Any other questions?
Just no. Ms. Sabrina, please read.
Oh, where am I at? I'm so off track.
Journal
Just
entries.
kidding.
Yeah.
The
Budget.
Board of Commissioners signed the satisfaction of mortgage for Shirley Hayden for $11,570, instrument number 2001-12900, as requested by Neighborhood Development Services. Documents reviewed by the Department of Budget and Finance with no exceptions noted.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes?
Mike,
yes.
Tony.
Yes.
All right, in accordance with section 305.30K of the Ohio Revised Code and this board's resolution 21-0396 and this board's resolutions 21-0878, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval to. I'll make a motion to direct the auditor's office to pay process the October 26, 2023 bills, ACH payments, wires, journal vouchers, and then and nows as applicable, contingent upon the verification of the reports as presented by the county auditor and reviewed by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to process the October 26, 2023 budget amendments as reviewed and recommended by the Department of Budget and Financial Management.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
All right. I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1410 Public Assistance Fund.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to authorize grant application in the amount of $1,758 to the NRA Foundation 2024 State Grant Program on behalf of the Portage County Sheriff's Office.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the award from the Ohio Office of Criminal Justice Services for the Recovery Ohio 2023 Law Enforcement Grant on behalf of the Portage County Sheriff's Office Drug and Violent Crime Unit.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 0001 General Fund to Fund 1481 Prosecutors State Grant.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 1275 Revolving Loan Fund CDBG Economic Development to Fund 1251 CDBG County Formula Grant.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer from Fund 5400 Portage County Water General Administration to Fund 5511 Manaway Water Treatment Plant.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to create 1133 Work Empowerment Redirection Grant.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes. Human Resources. Good morning, Tammy.
Hello, how are
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.
How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. Good. Don't really have a very small agenda.
Awesome.
Just something small and little.
Okay.
No comment.
In accordance with Section 305.30 of the Ohio Revised Code and this board's resolution 21-0396, Part 9I, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges and approves the county administrator's approval to approve anniversary probationary step increase for the following non-bargaining employees. Amanda Murphy, Water Resources.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Okay, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1, the Board of Commissioners moves into executive session to consider the employment of a public employee.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Tony?
Yes. And Dan, you're staying, right? Okay.
I'll make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Yes, action.
Yes, there is action. Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to remove and terminate Donald Shump from employment with Portage County Water Resources Department effective at the end of business day on November 6th, 2023.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Sabrina, could you go to miscellaneous?
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
your
I'm sorry,
time.
thank you guys,
Thanks.
thank you, sorry.
Go to work.
All right, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of the October 30th, 2023 certificate of the county auditor that the annual appropriations from each fund does not exceed the amended official certificate of estimate resources for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
The Board of Commissioners signs the October 20th, 2023 correspondence to Kate Church and Anthony Badalamenti to submit an online Ohio Public Works Commission disbursement request number 1 on behalf of the Portage County Engineer to Consultant Quality Control Inspection, Inc. in the amount of $2,145.63 for Fund 4263, Talmadge Road, Section 0 through P resurfacing. 50% of said request was paid with local funds.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes.
All right, the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the appointment of Dennis Rothamel to serve as the acting Portage County Treasurer effective November 1st until such time as the County Central Committee of the political party that nominated the last occupant of that office proceeds with its appointment in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 305.02.
Second?
May I ask a question? We have any idea what their time frame is, to appoint this person?
What, is there a timeframe on
No.
that?
Yeah, I think
Is it
it's
40
like
days?
November, it's
45 days.
45 days.
45 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
No.
Tony.
Yes.
Okay, the Board of Commissioners support Operation Greenlight for veterans the week of November 6th through November 12th by lighting some of the Portage County buildings green.
Second?
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Take a recess for, is she on the way?
So I emailed them and I made a phone call.
Okay.
Or I apologize, I did not. I asked
Okay.
Jessica to make
Okay,
a phone
all
call. I did not. I have something I could bring up
Please.
for a minute
Oh,
if
yeah.
you'd like me to fill some time. So, I would like to ask, I completely dropped the ball, totally my fault. I would like to ask the board to allow us to update the parking lot policy, parking control. Currently, we have some parking spaces that have been utilized for quite some time, and we have no measure which allows us to revisit this on an annual basis, and we should. So what happens is HR has received an overabundance of requests for handicap parking accommodations, and we cannot fulfill those accommodations. So what happened in the past is someone would request a handicap parking accommodation and it just lasted forever. We did not revisit it. We need some type of a measure which allows us to revisit it and then go on an as-needed basis and be able to say, okay, well, this one needs it a little bit more than this one, dot. We should be able to revisit it again annually and then determine who needs it the most, dot. We have nothing in place right now, and it's a bit problematic. So I would like to ask the board to allow us to implement.
So if I get a handicap sticker because I hurt my back and they say, hey, you've got 6 months, we don't check up on that
After 6 months.
after 6 months?
So
Like a
currently, there
No?
is no measure in place. We are addressing that right
Okay,
now.
great.
We would like to follow the ADA criteria as opposed to just following the placard
Yep.
criteria.
Absolutely.
We are not saying we're going to deny anyone in particular. We are just going to have a more formal process that is fair and consistent with everyone.
That makes
Well,
sense.
it should be updated every so often.
Well, and it should be more fair and consistent as opposed to whoever gets it in first. It's kind of how it happens now. It's not right.
Okay.
Again, I'm all about fair and consistency, so that's what we're trying to implement.
Yeah, because they have to renew those placards too. And they have to justify.
You know, quite honestly, I'll admit I do not know the process on
I do,
on
because
the
it has
placards.
an expiration.
But just because a placard is in place does not
Mhm.
necessarily mean it should surpass an ADA qualifying event, etc. So we need to be fair and consistent with how we apply it.
Good. I think that's a great idea, because we do have a ton of handicap parking spaces. I mean, they're all taken up all the time,
Sure.
so.
Sure. And you know what?
And if they all qualify, that's fine.
That's
but
absolutely right.
We just wanna make sure we're being
And we need to be
fair.
able to assess our needs.
I think that's a good idea. Okay.
Anything else?
Kelly Jo out there?
So I got a message that says I just called to let her know to come up early. Would you like me to check, make sure before
Yes,
you
and
recess?
I would like to 5-minute recess.
Okay, sure.
10:00.
I just got here, you're recessing?
Something you
Good morning again.
Good morning.
You're up, Kelly Jo.
All right. The first item I had on my open agenda was the August-September JFS data report. I only had like two small things that I thought you might question on page 2 under the public assistance area. The customer service as far as calls from August to September went down about 400, and clients seen in our lobby went down about 200. So that's good as far as inquiry and phone traffic and in person.
So what do you think that causes that fluctuation? And then it'll be spiked up next month.
Well, and hopefully not. I do think the biggest spike had to do with the Medicaid unwinding and individuals having questions on how their benefits were impacted. So I'm hoping that it stays stable, but then we always I do inquire with Rebecca on what are the questions that are being asked or what are the challenges that people are seeing. So.
And are we through everyone getting recertified?
No.
No? What about the SNAP people?
They're
You know, we
just
were
a
going
regular
through-
routine recertification. It's the Medicaid that's.
But I'm talking about their big drop from pre-COVID to post-COVID.
their
They
benefits.
lost
That's
all
already
their-
happened, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not that
Much.
transitional period, yeah, it's the Medicaid that because there's so many that came on, so. I did not have anything else, in our Bridges program, and that's the program where we're providing lots of safety nets for individuals coming off public welfare. The funding cap was 50 clients, so we steadily increased. We're at 34 at the end of August, so that population at caseload has grown, so that's a positive.
Good.
Yep. In the child protective arena, our children in care reduced from August to September to 176 kiddos. And our adult protective, that's the APS cases, we saw a little bit of an increase in opening cases with our seniors in Portage. So, but that's good. We'll continue to support the needs in that space. I didn't see much of a difference elsewhere unless you had questions. In our staffing numbers, they went up a little bit to 191 at the end of September. That's good. And I believe next week we sent up to county HR, I think 6 recommendations to hire. So if everything manifests with background checks, that's really positive for us.
You're going for 2.
It was actually, we cited 215, but when we analyzed FTEs, it was really 212.
Okay.
So, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Because
still low.
we're kind of being very cautious financially to get through the end of the year into the new budget. So I think we're in good shape. Questions on that? Just 2 flyers. I've talked about it to you, but we're ready to send these out to the public. Our annual Presents for Kids campaign, that's where we receive donations for kids that are in foster care. Last year, we were able to provide at minimal 4 presents for every child in foster care.
How many children have in foster care?
176 right now, yeah. And it's not that some providers don't buy kids, but that also includes kids that are placed with their relatives, or so it's a way to supplement them, but 176. We started in COVID, the toy drive-through here at the admin building in the cul-de-sac, or the bullpen area. And last year we received the most donations in combination with that in individual. So we want to try that again. We'll complete the right forms to make sure that we're in the building on Saturday to do that. But we're excited for that.
Cool.
Good.
Very good.
And then the third one, a couple weeks ago, Mandy, she's off, was approached by the owner, Skip Gray, of our Ohio Means Jobs building about a spacing availability, or space that would become available in January in that building. And then I outreached to him via phone call last week. We connected, and he has a tenant who's moving out at the end of December. So it's a beauty salon now. The space is going to be available, and he asked us first if we had any interest in it. There's 2,850 square feet, and the current lease is $975 a month, and it includes water, sewer, and an electric and gas as a separate meter. As you know, we have had challenges with visitations for kids in foster care. The Place of Peace, for which we have a contract with Family and Community, they've struggled to be able to accommodate all our requests. on our third floor, we used an office space and converted it into a very tiny room, so if we need to have families supervising visits, they're coming here into our building, but it's not conducive to family. My thoughts were we could use that space to put visitation over there and spread it out and make it more of a family-oriented area. So I do ask if you would support us engaging in that lease so that we could build out
How
that.
much of build out cost you for something like that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No, because it's really just things that we would purchase, tables and chairs, which we have some. We already have some kid-oriented activities, white chalkboards,
You
activity
don't have to
stuff.
put walls up or anything
Nope.
like that to have
What about the
visitations?
shampoo bowls?
That I would ask,
Or
I
keep
would
those.
ask him to
Anybody that needs
remove
some
those,
shampoo,
but
right?
when we moved into the OMJ side, when we initiated the lease with them, he did the major, shifts. We just had to get like inspections with electrical, but I could keep you updated if you would be open
So
to
how
us.
much do we pay him for the big space you have now?
$51.50 a month,
$51.50 a month?
$5,150.
Yeah. How much is he asking for that additional space?
Nine,
What's the-
$975,
And how, what's the square footage on it?
26.
850,
850.
2,850, yeah, square feet. Not too bad.
2,800?
Square footage is better here in Aurora.
Wait, on top of what we have?
Yeah,
Or is that
in
included?
addition.
In addition, that's the
addition.
additional amount.
It's an additional 2,000?
2,800.
2,800 square
Square
feet,
feet?
yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad at all.
yeah. And he only wants what, 9?
$975 a month.
That's not bad at all. That's cheap, actually.
Kind of narrow over there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem. It's narrow,
Very
it's
narrow.
long.
Yeah.
Not, but, and you have this in your budget
Mm-hmm.
to sustain that?
Cool.
Then I think go
I'm
for
good.
it.
I'm good.
Commissioner,
You
you
good?
good? Okay.
May I
You
ask a
roll,
question?
girl.
Okay, we're rolling.
May I-
Oh, yes, absolutely, I'm sorry.
I know and you may have touched upon this, I apologize, I
That's
just
okay.
stepped out. In the past, we had some concerns with some odors. Is he doing anything to rectify that to make sure that we don't come across that again?
It rectified itself,
we haven't had
actually.
it
Even though
for-
we're now
when they
taking over
left.
the salon?
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
had it.
Completely.
Yeah,
It's been a couple years since we've had an issue.
there was a automotive place somewhere in that vicinity, I think still is, and it appeared that there might have been some oil dumps down in the sewer stuff,
Ooh.
and so,
So it was definitely not, cause I thought there was
Yeah.
something about the salon.
no. But when it would rain, it would, and then our staff, and it rightfully so, initiated complaints because they were concerned. Michelle was risk manager at the time, and we had to have people truly assess it. We had our fire department come in too, and so they measured it. They weren't toxic fumes in there that would harm the staff, but it definitely,
Was a problem.
yeah. But in the last 2 years, we've had no complaints. So
I thought it was that wall. Maybe they just thought it was that wall, but it was really truly.
Yeah, I think
side
at first
issues.
they thought that
They
it was
thought
the
it was
salon
chemical
related. Okay,
smell
great.
from, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure.
good catch. Yeah, we did have that problem for a while. So
Gotcha.
We shouldn't have said it out loud.
good. What?
We probably shouldn't have said it out loud.
Well, there wasn't really. There was. I mean, but it was a genuine concern of
Yeah.
our
Oh,
staff.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was out loud. I mean, that was a whole
Oily
public
smell.
to do, so
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
just confirm that, but
Yeah.
hey, there's a public, it was all taken care of.
Yeah, it was.
So there you go.
Good. So that was exciting. Update on the Healthy Aging Grant. So we met yesterday with the Portage 50+ group, and Matt from Direction Area Agency on Aging also attended for the first time. He had a rep there. We have a pretty phenomenal plan that everybody feels good about, and so I'd like to share with you as far as what we think we can do to help meet some of the needs of our seniors. So it's the funds are a little over $450,000, and I'm sorry, I meant to grab the exact number and I didn't.
It's like
get it.
456 or
Yeah.
something. It's not mine. Yeah.
So Community Action Council was invited to the meeting, David Shea, and we, the requirement of the grant is to address housing, utilities, and food as a mandate of some of the funds, and then you have options to do other support services. So Community Action Council already does rent, utilities, assistance, home modifications. We talked about why reinvent the wheel. They're willing without any admin funds, so they don't want anything related to their time to process that part of the program, and we all agreed that we would like to earmark $100,000 of that for rent, utilities, home modifications, mortgages, and taxes, a period of delinquent homeowners' taxes. So, Direction Home Area Agency on Aging, one of the components of the grant required to get our seniors more acclimated to technologies and internet and those things, and so they already have a program that's built. And they also have care management services for any elderly that doesn't have insurance that would cover those costs. So again, we said, why reinvent the wheel? Why not have them do those two programs at a price of $100,000 for their total fund? Ted St. James would love to pilot.
St. John's.
St. James, I'm so sorry. Ted, he's not here.
Bless you.
St. John. Would love to pilot the transportation component because we are seeing gaps in services and transportation. So whether it's getting seniors to senior services or to grocery stores or any support capacity, he would like his team to try to meet that need. And we set a base rate about $40,000 just because we don't know what it's going to entail. We're trying to divvy that out. And then the senior centers, we'd like to offer each senior center in Portage County. We're confirming with United Way 211 how many there are. One person said there's 10, the other one said 4. But at any rate, when we solidify exactly how many, because there's a health and wellness component to it, we'd like to offer each senior center $10,000 to build health and wellness programming in the senior centers. Some already do like yoga and certain things, but that would spread the dollars across the county. And
That's where I go for yoga.
Do you?
I can tell.
Yeah. This is good. So that was, what did I miss? I think I hit it. Adult Protective Services, which is our team, we'd like to just start with an earmark of $10,000 to have emergency kits. So when we get new cases in the Adult Protective Services arena, then we can take out some supplies and things to homes. And then we left a padding of about $60,000 just because we don't know where the need is at. Direction Home might ask for admin dollars, so they might be the only entity. No, I missed Catholic Charities. Catholic Charities, Rick Squire, who's the director, there's a food component. They would like to tackle the food, so we want to be able to make food bags available and vouchers. So they already have a distribution program, and so they wanted to spearhead that. So that really
Covers a lot.
exhausts the money, less we left a little bit of padding because we're not sure. We'd like a universal application for every resident. So it would menu all of these services. They can check the boxes for which they have interest in any or all of them. And then JFS would be the central location of the applications, and then we would divvy them out to the providers. And so in that space, we committed to meeting like every 2 weeks as a team as the program grows. And we think we have a great plan.
So remind me again, what was going to be used for the senior centers that they could apply for the 10,000? That's going to be programming on
Health and wellness.
health and wellness.
Yeah.
So what does that include?
So a lot of them do it, but activities. So with the seniors.
Because I had received a call from Streetsboro.
Yeah.
Interested in getting some type of programming funds. So do you know when this will all, the applications and all that, or will you notify all the senior centers and let them know?
So Direction Area Agency is also working with Summit County on their plan. They're trying to roll all theirs out by January 1. We set an overzealous date of December 1 in Portage. So our goal is to try to get the application worked on and finalized so the team can see it next week. We still have to meet with our fiscal team upstairs, Jackie and her team, to learn about when the funds are coming and those responsibilities. But if all the stars align, we want to do some press releases and get information out to the public on the availability. We'd like to do that by the end of November. And it is it's a
28 days left, by the way.
it's a big goal. And if we can't make it, but we're ahead of the game with some other counties, so I think we're aligning it. we're not sure about the federal poverty guideline, and so we're all gonna need to go into the fine print of it to see if some of the services align with the federal poverty guideline, but we'll embed that in the application. I think we've turned lots of stones, and we invited everybody that would be interested, that we thought would wanna be at the table to the meeting, and those that wanted to be there came. If we missed anybody, they're absolutely able to still join, so I think we did it.
So to what Sabrina asked, if any of us hear of any other senior citizen, senior
Centers.
group or center, we could give them your phone number? to
Absolutely.
call. Okay.
So questions, are you comfortable with that plan?
I think
Okay.
it sounds great. I was on a committee with the state for the Healthy Aging in Place grant.
Okay.
And they gave us the pockets where they wanted the funds in, and you pretty much have touched each of them, so.
I think it's exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know there's still gonna be a concern if we build it, how will we sustain it, so we wanna give you numbers. Not that we're gonna come and ask for additional funds from you, but I think it's incumbent on this group to start talking about when the dollars go away, if we're really meeting needs in certain areas, can we become creative in that space, so, but again, I'm not coming to you per se, I think we would wanna
Yeah,
know
but
the
this is
data to
something that's
understand.
well needed.
Yeah.
I mean,
And maybe the Department of Aging will give sustainable dollars. I know this is all
I think
ARPA
that-
related.
Yeah, I think the success of this will bring forth, I think, additional funding
That'll be great.
in the future.
Yeah, so good stuff. That was that. The next thing is a resolution, but I'm absolutely sure you're gonna want to have some discussion before we present the formal. So, in our Child Protective Services world, we have historically had 2 on-call social service worker positions that when everyone goes home during core hours, they come on shift. And those 2 rotated days and weekends and holidays in coordination with Coleman, who is the provider that we have a contract with that takes the initial call, then would engage our on-call workers. They are supported by on-call managers, and things were moving along fine. Both of our on-call staff transitioned out of the agency to other position, one in May, one in August, and we've not been able to successfully fill those positions. Had, I think, 2 applications, neither had child welfare experience. So our team of social workers have stepped in and are taking on these shifts correlated to these 2 full-time positions that have been vacated. The agreement had been in their spaces that when they took on-call shifts, that they were in 24-hour spans and help me out on weekends,
Weekends and holidays.
They would also get a stipend regardless if a call came through because they're making themselves available during that period. The union came before us and said, our body is happy to continue to help in this space, but we would like to reduce our shifts to 12 hours and still receive the same stipend that we received in the 24-hour. We did some number crunching. It would cost us about $10,000 more a year to be able to offer those additional stipends, and please interrupt and correct me if I'm wrong. And so we need them, and we're hoping you would support this change.
Do you have a problem filling those positions because they are 24 versus 12
No.
hour shifts?
Which,
Oh, with
You
the,
mean
with the current body?
they're mandated. If they don't volunteer, then they're on a rotation basis and they're made to cover
Oh,
the
they
shift.
are.
As a part of the
Yeah.
contract, yeah. So they're just asking for some grace to not be
They're
on
just saying that
24
24 hours is just a bit much. I mean, they just, that's.
But on
In addition
average,
to
how many
working
calls do
40
they
hours a
get
week, too.
during a
Well,
shift?
just last weekend, I think it was last weekend or the weekend before, because payroll's always off, we had 3 that in their coverage worked over 9.5 hours, actual working either out in the field or on the phone or, so it's normally not like that, but we actually had to check into it because we're like, are you sure this isn't normal? So I don't know if it's because normally those employees are there to take, so.
We had a worker and a law enforcement agent that drove out of state. That's an anomaly.
yeah.
Doesn't happen every
Is that that
weekend.
one?
Mhm.
Yep. I have no problem with going to 12-hour shifts.
I'm good.
Give 'em a second.
Yeah, Yeah, because I just know how hard, I mean, you gotta do what we can.
And knock on wood and praise, our hemorrhage in that staffing issue from December to now has rectified itself, and so we wanna sustain the team we have.
And it's within your budget then that you have.
The worst thing we could do is have somebody out there needing you and nobody's available,
Yeah.
so.
Or they've, been working for
Yep.
15 hours.
Right,
and,
right, man, that's a long, stressful shift.
I mean,
More of
it's not
how long
normal
the
that
shift
they're up
is,
that
'cause
long,
they're
but, yeah.
mandated, right, too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna change it to 12-hour shifts?
Yep, and then the resolution, I was hoping you would support it, is there if you'd like to pass it today.
Okay. All right.
Or
Any-
Kelly Jo has to put in more hours.
Yeah.
Is there anything
in
else,
quite
or
often.
I'll start the resolution?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the execution of memorandum of understanding by and between Portage County Job and Family Services and ASME 1696 with respect to modifying on-call shifts and associated stipend.
Second,
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes.
Mike,
yes.
Tony.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution to assign authority to the Director of Portage County Jobs and Family Services to serve as the board's designee with authority to request and sign inter-county adjustment agreements on behalf of Portage County. So you wanna speak to that, Kelly Jo?
Yes, is this our placement?
No, this is the
Transfers.
inter-county transfers.
Inter-county
Yeah,
transfers.
so when Sue now provides to you all on a quarterly basis, or how are you
In
gonna
here it
present?
says monthly, then I got confused and did quarterly, but we don't do them monthly, so it'll be monthly.
She started per your request to present to you in memo form when we transfer our funds
Funds
to others and vice versa.
Correct, yep.
So it gives me the authority to sign, and the other directors and agencies have that
To do
same
that.
authority. You, they'll get presented with that
Okay.
also, so you're kept in the know.
So if we don't do that, it just delays that?
Yeah, what happens is if somebody has money available, then I have to wait till the next commissioners meeting, and they could possibly give that money to someone else, if I'm not fast enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a friend at a
Second.
neighbor, oh, sorry.
I just shut up. Thank you for seconding that.
Roll call.
Sabrina,
Yes?
Mike,
Yes.
Tony.
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
you.
Yes,
Have a
good
great
work.
day.
Thank you. Any public comment do you know of yet? No? Okay. The board will recess until 11 a.m. Is there anything else to come before the board today?
I do not have
I'll
anything.
make a motion to, what are we gonna do?
Adjourn.
Adjourn, that's the right
Second.
word. Roll call,
Tony,
yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Sabrina.
Yes. Yes.